It's Tuesday the 7th of June and thank goodness the summer storms have passed. 2 days of torrential rain and howling gales have been pretty miserable for the first week of June, and inevitably there's some damage and some loss in the vegetable garden. Luckily the loss and the damage is to the structures that I've put up as opposed to the actual crops, so I can go and do a mending job and fix the runner bean supports that have fallen apart and the broad bean supports that are falling down, but it does look like most of the crops are absolutely fine. Yes, thank goodness for that. And the other thing I want to tackle today is to finish tidying up the paths that go through the food forest, and carry on planting out some of the plants that I've got in the greenhouse that are just ready to come into the ground now. In the tractor tyre with the honeyberry bush in it, normally I'd have, in the old days, I'd have put some bedding plants around it like alyssum or some small fuchsias or something, but no, now I've got the Swiss chard, and that will grow up and it will be different colours, and it should look really attractive, but it keeps this area productive, and I'm just not wasting any space with plants that aren't providing me anything. And they should make a really attractive display. Now, as you can see, it's windy again. The wind has really picked up today, and when the sun's out it's beautiful. But as soon as the sun goes in, it's all a bit cold. The strawberries are starting to ripen, and it's one of those moments where I've paused and thought, do I film them, in which case I need to share them with Mr. J because he knows I've got them, or do I not film them, keep them secret and eat them all myself? Well, couldn't do that, that would be unfair. So there you go, Mr. J, we have strawberries for supper tonight. I will make a cheesecake and they can go on top of it. I've come inside because it's just so windy out there, you can't hear what I'm saying. Well, I can't hear what I'm saying, so I'm sure you won't be able to. The 8 ducks that we collected on Saturday evening are all settled in, and one of our ducks is just starting to integrate into that group and get to know them a little bit. Mrs. Warren, on the other hand, is having none of it. She's not interested in being friends with them. She is sulking on her own, and our other duck that we had before, that we call the other one, and that's what we call her, that's her name, the other one. So the other one spends some time with Mrs. Warren and sometimes with the group of 8. But nature being as it is, I'm absolutely sure that once the drake has decided that she will be part of the group, then that will cement that relationship and she'll gradually move into being part of that flock. It does mean, however, we've got loads of duck eggs, and I'm just delighted. I much prefer duck eggs to chicken eggs, and when our 2 weren't laying very much, it was a bit skinny on the old egg front for me, but now we've got this group of them. This morning I have collected 6, and I know that 2 are from Mrs. Warren and the other one, and that means that 4 of the girls have laid, which is, that's ideal. So I've been able to sell a few eggs this morning, have one for my breakfast, and know that there's one for my breakfast tomorrow before the girls lay again. We're just getting into that time of year when more and more of our food is coming directly from the garden, and it just feels so nice to go outside and pick some things off plants and say, okay, that's what we're going to have for supper tonight. And it allows us to be more spontaneous and just to eat more fresh food, because although all winter it's been great to eat the food from the freezer that came from our garden, there isn't anything quite like having just picked some mange too and being able to cook those and throw them together with an omelette. Yum. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do for Mr. J's lunch. Look at the colour of those, isn't that fantastic? They're bright and they're green, and they're just, these are grown without any chemicals at all, just the soil as it is, and poor as though it is, it's still managed to produce a fabulous crop. And the girls' eggs, bless them, nice selection there. The little green one in the corner, the bluey green one in the corner, is one of our newly starting to lay girls, so her eggs will get bigger, I hope. They should get bigger over time. And I had second thoughts about making Mr. J a cheesecake, so I've made a sponge cake, and he can have his strawberries sliced on top of that. So it's out of the oven and it's just on the cooling rack now, and this is the bit that I find really difficult because it can't get cool fast enough.